Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You are once again welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for us. Hit the notification bell for more updates. Like and also share to other members on your contact list. Thank you. I want you to join me today listening to how fiercely BOT has fought and engaged Ayisi on Pan-Africa TV for attacking Speaker Gbagyi and Global Info Analytics and the NDC as whole. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what transpired between them and how he advised the voters to also vote for change so that they can also do what is best for the country. Thank you.
And a brother, Bernard Odro-Techi, popularly known as BOT, is a chartered economist and a member of the National Democratic Congress. BOT, thank you so much for joining, us tonight.
Yes, it stands for the opportunity, and I'm happy to be part of the crusade to kill the MPP out. We are less than 25 days to send the elephant into the forest and even not the bush. And let me extend my warmest greetings to every rank and file member of the NDC, most especially the Flabra running mate and national chairman. The way people are crisscrossing the 276 constituencies across the country, the avalanche call for change leaves no doubt that indeed the elephants shall be sent into the bush. And no amount of intimidation, political machination, financial inducement can save the MPP. I'm not too old, but I've lived to see how party in government leads into the opposition. Classical example is in US, in UK, recent one Botswana, and recent one is Mauritius, where a certain political party in government never had any parliamentary seat in Mauritius. The election was held just about 4 or 5 days ago, to the extent that the party in power lost virtually all the almost 61 parliamentary seats in Mauritius. In Botswana, the certain political party only won 4 parliamentary seats. That should tell you that the way for change is ubiquitous across the globe and across the continent. And I'm so much impressed that everybody is calling for change. And let my brother Ayisi be reminded that the people in Ghana are not different from the people in Botswana, Mauritius, US, and UK. And if you could remember, you will realize that for almost 14 solid good years, the Labour Party was in oblivion. But guess what? In 2024, the Labour Party won convincingly to form a government. And once the Labour Party wins, you can be very confident that yes, unionist parties are coming to power. And once a former president in US has won decisively, it was so decisive and emphatic, that should tell you that Mauritius has shown the way, Botswana has shown the way, Almighty US has shown the way, and I can bet you, the next country to follow suit to show the way is the Republic of Ghana. It's not going to be any other person other than John Dramani Mahama, and we are going to have a decisive majority in Parliament. I have no doubt that if you look at matters relating to the economy, LGBTQ+, how this government is handling the Boko clashes, it leaves me with no doubt that come 7 December, the good people of Ghana will make no mistake in choosing the umbrella over the elephant. And in doing so, they're going to reward the NDC with a resounding majority in Parliament.
That was Bernard Odro-Techi, member of the NDC and a chartered economist. Also in the studio with me tonight is Mr. George Ayisi, Director of Communications, NADMO, and a member of a New Patriotic Party communications team. Mr. Ayisi, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, it's always a privilege to be here.
Right.
I don't know whether, as a prelude to our discussion, it's been some time. And good evening to you, good evening to our viewers, good evening to my brother BOT, good evening to the leader and next president of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Bawumia.
Okay.
It's an obvious choice. Majority of the Ghanaian people are determined and resolved to give the man full of ideas, the visionary leader, the one who cares about the ordinary Ghanaian, the Gen Zs, and then the, people of this country, especially the young people, with a matter. And I'll start with you, BOT. The Supreme Court has said
that the decision by the Speaker of Parliament to declare those seats vacant in Parliament is unconstitutional. Well, a lot of people have disagreed with the Supreme Court. Others are saying that let's wait until we see the reasoning behind the Supreme Court's decision, then we can comment. Your position on this matter?
Justice, first of all, let me clarify some wrongful statistical prognosis by my friend Ayisi. And I'm sad he's making a point that on consistent basis he's flip-flopping. And I don't know where he actually stands. On one breath, he says that global info analytics is not credible. On another breath, on this platform, you said that.
I don't think that in this submission.
Not today.
I disagree with your findings.
But
I never said they are not credible.
Right.
I disagree with that.
That has been corrected.
Yes.
You can go ahead, BOT.
Yes, it's not today. Listen to me.
Okay.
I've been paired on this platform with Ayisi on several locations.
True.
And I can tell you, he has never on any day seen credibility in the work of global info analytics. And I'm not a spokesperson for global info analytics. If on one breath you think you don't believe in the outcome of their work, and you think that justifiably so, what they are putting out does not merit the reality on the ground, then on one breath can you still hold a belief in the fact that the monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly report they churn out is making Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia pick up? Such inconsistent positions should not be tolerated on this platform. For us in the NDC,
it's the figment of your imagination.
For us in the NDC, in as much as we believe in researches, we are not duty bound, and the duty bearers in the party are not too much visited about some of these data being put out by Fitch, EIU, Global Info Analytics, Afrobarometer. We're never going to hinge our hope on that. I believe in the job day ground. It is very, ironical and very paradoxical on his part to say that their candidate has energy and our candidate has only done 70 constituency across the country. That is very shocking. I can tell him confidently, as we speak today, John Dramani Mahama overall has done over 222 constituencies across the country. Talk less of even the running mate, the national chairman, the youth wing, the women wing, the Zongo caucus. I mean, so it's figment of his imagination to think that our candidate has no energy. In fact, what matters in this election is going to be based on three thematic issues.
What are those thematic areas?
Good. It's going to be on the economy, LGBTQ+, and how the government is handling the Boko clashes. And I can tell you, maybe you are not putting your ears on the ground. Look, Justice, briefly. The American election was won at the back of. Come on, no.
But we need not to move away from.
I'll come to this. I'll come to it. Look, I'm not here. You are not here to set questions for me.
To move that
way.
You
are not.
And you cannot.
When you were making your point, I was quiet. And you see when you are making your point, I was quiet. When you were making your point, I was so quiet. I was jotting down my point. I'll come to the substantive matter. But I'm telling you,
BOT, please go ahead.
No, allow.
Go ahead.
That's not how things are.
Please allow. I'll give you your time.
You are not. So what is the point? If I'm going to use my 10 minutes to talk about the economy, what matters to you? I have 10 minutes. Justice, I have 10 minutes. If I decide to use my 10 minutes to talk about the economy,
you also get the opportunity if you would want to respond. That's fair.
I want to say on behalf of the NDC, the 2024 election on 7 December will be fought largely on 3 grounds. Who has better handled the economy? Who has given us a junk status? Who gave us debt exchange program? Who gave us the worst ever inflation reform? It's you, the MPP government. Then again, the men of God and women of God watching me tonight on this platform are going to ask themselves, we have the biblical story of Sodom and Gomorrah, under whose government was the president said that same sex is bound to happen. The MPP government, so the men of God, the Adventist, Presbyterian, Islam, Muslim, etc., are going to ask themselves, in between NDC and MPP, who are the political parties who better be able to fight LGBTQ+? Of course, we're going to be the NDC. And the last of it all, look at how the Boko clashes. As of yesterday, 21 people have been found dead. Boko clashes. So more people are dying under the clashes more than COVID-19. So I'm telling him here, we're going to go into constitutional matter, but hey, the economy is going to be number one, LGBTQ+, and how they are woefully handling the Boko clashes. Back to the substantive matter.
Overrules Back to the substantive matter on vacant seats.
Thank you.
Your position on that.
Good. I'm stating the position of my party.
Well,
as an individual, I can have a position.
Okay.
I'm speaking from the official position of the NDC.
Okay.
Now, the NDC is the midwife of the 1992 Constitution. And as a midwife of the 1992 Constitution, we will not do anything that is injurious to the spirit and the letter of the 1992 Constitution.
Okay.
Just as I refer you to Baron de Montesquieu, the proponent of separation of powers.
Okay.
And Baron de Montesquieu, in his Best of Wisdom, said that the three arms of government must be clearly separated in their duty, and one must not have an overbearing control over the other. And what are the three arms of government? Basically, you're talking the executive, who formulate policy and implement policies, present budget to parliament, execute initiative, etc. Then you are talking about the Parliament of Ghana that serves as a true democratic platform for the people. Don't forget that Ghana, we practice constitutional representative democracy. And in fact, if you are looking for an arm of government whereby democracy truly practices, Parliament of Ghana, because today all the 275 constituencies in Ghana, our rest is the parliament. So I even see parliament as a true reflection of our constitutional democracy, more than even the judiciary and the executive, because all the rest of all our constituencies are there. Parliament has parliamentary supremacy and immunity. And Parliament is a master of its own laws. I do agree that Article 1, Clause 1, Article 2, Clause 2, it says that any other law that is found to be inconsistent with the spirit of the 1992 Constitution, to the extent of its anality, I agree. But you see, judicial precedence is key. There's one thing I know. In law, we have the ratio deciding and obiter dictum. Always when judges arrive at a decision, you may want to find the reasoning that inform the conclusion of that decision.
True. As
we speak today, me and you, together with Ayisi, may not have any iota of thought as to how they arrive at that conclusion. But the Article 97 and all the parliamentary clauses and all the parliamentary mode standing orders is clear that parliament is a law unto itself. Whilst I do agree that if you look at the nomenclature of the judicial system of Ghana, you have the superior court and the lower court. And per the superior court, you are talking about the Supreme Court, the appeals, and the High Court. In the past, we used to have the regional tribunals. But as of today, the Supreme Court seems to serve as a supervisory court over all other courts. However, anybody will agree with me that per the spirit and the letter of the 19 Constitution, matters of vacation of seat is the sole prerogative for the High Court of Ghana. Be that as it may, somebody petitioned the Supreme Court of Ghana for constitutional interpretation. And when that particular proviso was invoked, the Supreme Court was duty bound to adjudicate on the matter.
But the Supreme Court disagrees that it doesn't have jurisdiction to hear, matters of declaration of those seats vacant. The argument is that even if the argument is that even if the Honorable Afenyo Makin had gone to the High Court under Article 99, the High Court, the issues of interpretation would have been referred to the Supreme Court by the High Court. Mind you, Honorable Afenyo Makin is at the Supreme Court for interpretation of Article 97(1) G and H of the 1992 Constitution.
He went for H.
No problem, but no problem. But
the Supreme Court therefore expanded their scope
interpreting.
To add more.
Exactly. The two, the provision and that G and H. No problem. But the reason why, let's state categorically that the reason why the Honorable Afenyo Makin went to the Supreme Court is to get the Supreme Court to interpret Article 97 1 G and H.
Good.
Right? And the Supreme Court has that jurisdiction
to interpret. Okay, so you see, let me borrow the words of A.V. Dicey, who is the father of rule of law. And it is good we are ruled by the law, not by men. Once you are ruled by men in the West, that's kakistocracy. So I want to borrow the words of A.V. Dicey that it is better for men to serve under a rule of law that is West than serve as serve under authoritarian government. I do agree with you that Honorable Lawyer Afenyo Makin proceeded to the Supreme Court to seek constitutional interpretation. And the Supreme Court, per the spirit and the letter of the Constitution, came to a 5-2 decisive majority decision that the ruling by the Speaker of Parliament to declare those seats vacant is unconstitutional. And for that matter, they should have been given the rule of natural justice. Now let me go back to the year 2020. About 3-4 months to election 2020, you could remember that there was a man by the name Honorable Asiama, who was then MP for for MENA. Now he had then filed to contest as an independent candidate. The then Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament then, Professor Mike Oronkwe, after the MPP has petitioned the Speaker of Parliament that once he has made the bold categorical decision to go independent, the forfeiture of membership then affects him, and for that matter, he ceases to become a member of the MPP, and by virtue of that, he must therefore lose his seat.
Right.
There's a principle of automaticity. Principle of automaticity states that you don't even need your party to petition the Speaker of Parliament. Whilst I do agree that on the grounds of natural justice, people must be given hearing, the operative way over there is sharp. And you may not even need, take Amenfi Central, Honorable Aka, who is, as of today, is on the ticket of the NDC in Parliament, who has also filed to contest as an independent. The NDC constitution is clear. The very day you file to contest as an independent candidate, you forfeit your membership of the party. And once you forfeit your membership of the party, Article 97, Clause H and G is applicable to you. In my candid view, I will want to wait to read the ruling of the Supreme Court
now
and see the reasoning that informed that ruling.
Whilst we are waiting for the detailed judgment of the Supreme Court, if you had listened to the argument made by the Attorney General in court, the Attorney General was telling the court that if you look at Article 97, 1, G and H, in fact, it is talking about the future. It's futuristic than it being or than that applying to the present Parliament.
Please, can you verbatim manner?
Right. So let me.
I don't want you to come from a battle of words. Please, when you have your time, then you. Please, when you have your time, then you come in. Please.
Right.
Read verbatim, word for word. 97 H and G. Verbatim manner.
Article
so that
97
1 H and G. In a verbatim manner.
The G comes before H.
So it doesn't matter. If I say it can be M and N or M and Q. So read that particular proviso. It's clear.
I'm trying to get it.
So matters of intentionality doesn't come in.
Of the 1992 Constitution.
Yeah.
I would get it briefly. 97.
The position of the NDC is the principle of automaticity. So you don't even need any party. Look, you people wrote to Alan Cash and all those Yaboabian Samwa that they've automatically forfeited their membership. It's clear. When people even campaign for an independent candidate, it's clear in your constitution. The MPP constitution is cast in stone, black and white. It says that justice, even if you as a party member campaign for an independent candidate, you lose your membership as an MPP. So you don't even need anyone to write to the speaker. But you see, like I'm saying, we are setting a bad precedent for the future. And for me, I have no come to worry because you see, power is transient. Whatever ruling the Supreme Court is giving today, justice will wake up one day, power will change hands. So the same precedent they are setting, this same precedent one day will come back to haunt the MPP. And come to think about it, do you know on grounds of fact, the MPP petitioned the Speaker of Parliament to invoke Article 97 to have the seat of Adwasafu declared vacant. These same MPP people who today are calling on the fact that declaring parliamentary seat vacant is a nullity, is unheard of today. These same MPP people petitioned the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament to declare Domeko Abrenya's seat vacant because Adwasafu, in their view, was not doing their bidding. So for us in the NDC, we are cool, we are calm. And our joy is that power is transient. In the next 25 days to come, Ghanaians will make a very emphatic decision to send it into the bush. And when that decision is made, look, there are several ways in killing a cat. And the Supreme Court is not a preserve of anybody. The judiciary of Ghana is never an annex of the MPP. And so long as Ghanaians will make that change, and so long as precedents are being set, we in the NDC, we are very confident that as we bear the 1992 Constitution, we will not do anything to endure the smooth administration of this country. But in the same breath, we will not allow any other arm of government to also serve as a headmaster on the Parliament of Ghana. I leave that to the conscience of the Honourable Speaker of Parliament and the 137 members of Parliament of the NDC. They need to stand their grounds. Whatever they need to fight to ensure that needless bills are not passed, needless laws are not contracted, they have the full backing of the umbrella that we shall start with them thick and tone to make sure that for the last 25 days left for them to transition into a new administration, no capricious loan should be contracted. And if the NPP want to use the last days left for them to head into opposition as a conduit to approve unnecessary loans, then we, the NDC, want to assure them that we're never going to tolerate that menace. So if you can read that particular constitutional provision
now, after reading this, you'll be wrapping up for me. This one, I have the Constitution here now. Article 97 talks about tenure of office of members. Article 97(1) says, a member of Parliament shall vacate his seat in Parliament. Now, let's go to G, which says that
over there is
shall, if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party, or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member.
Thank you.
Or if he was elected a member of Parliament as an independent candidate and joins a political party.
So let's take the second reference, the first one.
Right.
Formina MP was elected as an independent candidate.
Right.
He made a bold move to join the NPP 3 months to the end of the expiration of the tenure of his office. I don't need a Supreme Court judge to interpret this particular proviso to me. Then again, the other proviso also said that if you make even any attempt to remain independent in Parliament, once any MP goes independent, you forfeit your membership. So for us in the NDC, this is what the law has been interpreted to us.
Right.
But the precedent has been set, and power is transient. Let every NDC member be cool, calm, and pray that on 7 December, when power changes hands, the president being set today will serve as a guidance for the future.
That was Bernard Odrotichi. He's a chartered economist and a member of the National Democratic Congress. You're still watching Hot News right here on Pan-African Television with me, Justice Appiah. You can join in the conversation by sending in your views, comments, and contributions on a WhatsApp to text line. I'll be reading those messages out for you. Those of you watching us on Facebook, can share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. Now, let me come to you, Mr. Ayisi, on this issue. Some people have vehemently disagreed with the Supreme Court. They don't think that the Article 97, 1G and H should be interpreted because it has been written in a plain, clear language. It doesn't leave a wiggle of ambiguity. And so why should the Supreme Court interpret Article 97 to mean something else? They believe that declaration of those seats
to mean anything?
They believe that declaration of those seats, were in conformity with what Article 97 is actually saying. So they don't think that it is unconstitutional for the Speaker to declare. The Speaker was only working within the remit of the Constitution.
In this matter, it is their opinion. Which is inconsequential. It doesn't matter.
I see.
The Constitution in Article 1(2), talks about the supremacy of the Constitution. And the only group of people mandated by the 1992 Constitution to say what any article or clause means is the Supreme Court.
They can make mistakes.
What mistakes? So go for review.
But the Supreme Court in itself...
The Supreme Court has... Let me tell you what elicited the inclusion of this clause in the Constitution.
Right.
The framers of the Constitution seek to denigrate the Constitution.
Right.
Led by the Speaker Abambabi. An experience in the people can be mischievous anytime. They don't care. They put their interest over and above the supreme interest of the nation. And he's one such person. And the NDC is doing go to Article 2(4). If you have time, let's read it. The consequences of his conduct. Now Supreme Court has ruled. Let him go back and do what he's doing in Parliament. That, as a leader of the House, you don't have the right. You don't determine who sits where. And when that is causing confusion, and you decide you don't, and you organize a needless, useless press conference, it is the most useless press conference I've ever watched.
It's an Article 2.
Yes, 2(4). Okay? That's the most useless press conference I've ever. When critical questions were asked, you cannot answer them. You decide you will not answer them. Why are you the leader of the house? Is the clerk that will determine who sits where? And that's what a colleague of mine, a young lawyer of mine, said then if that doesn't matter, where people sit doesn't matter, the NDC could have as well gone to sit at the gallery. Okay? Please. The sitting position is very important in parliamentary democracy. Majority sits to the right of the speaker.
So, Article 2.4.
I tried knowledge. Read 2.4.
Article 2.4 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana States.
Of Parliament. Then I'll wrap up with the Montesquieu thing.
Article 2.4 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana states that failure to comply with a Supreme Court order or direction is a high crime. The consequences for this crime are up to 10 years in prison without the option of a fine, ineligibility for public office for 10 years after the end of the prison sentence, removal from office for the president or vice president. So that is what
imprisonment is possible. Now let me wrap up on the issue of Baron de Montesquieu. Now let's go. Okay, let me wrap up on the concept of separation.
But the Speaker of Parliament did not say that he won't comply.
He's not. You know, somebody has raised the issue of contempt of. He's in contempt of court. But are you also aware? Are you also aware that the only two institutions that can cite for contempt is Parliament and the Supreme Court? So the Supreme Court can cite the Speaker of Parliament?
You think the Speaker of Parliament cannot cite the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court is the only body that can interpret the Constitution. Now let me finish with Baron de Montesquieu, 1774.
Okay.
Do you know what? The concept of separation of powers is for us to do business properly.
Right.
But he didn't just end with separation of powers. He also inputted the concept of checks and balances. Okay? So if you read separation of powers in abeyance, you are not being honest with the concept of the theory of Montesquieu. There's checks and balances. Parliament checks the executive checks the judiciary checks Parliament, and you know, that is how it is. The limitation of that. That's why the Supreme Court justices are brought before Parliament for vetting. That's very important. Executive nominates, they go to Parliament for vetting. Parliament also passes, they make the law, but they don't enforce the law. You know that? So please, the concept of checks and balances is very important in our constitutional democracy. And I salute this Supreme Court justices for doing justice to even a class 1 child knows the meaning of 97, and these four people never violated any of that.
Thank you so much, Ayisi, for your submission. Now let me engage as viewers. I'll come back. This one says, good evening, Justice. Please, this kind of behavior by Mr. Ayisi must stop. Justice, you have to control him. Decent people are watching the program. By Swalesu Governor in Tamale sent in that one. It was from Swalesu Governor. This one says, Justice, please tell BOT that he is a motivational speaker and should never be moved by any trait because most of the youth are watching and learning from him. Just love him. From Jacob in Konja. Thank you so much, Jacob, for your message. This one says, hello, blessed. This one, blessed. This is Justice. He says, Mr. Ayisi is confused. All right. Thank you so much for your message. This one says, Mr. Justice, why is it that Mr. Ayisi is always acting like he should try always to behave as? I don't see him as a good communicator. He should rather. Please send your messages devoid of insults, because if you are insulting, I will not read it. This one says, good evening, Justice. Please tell the MPP man that English language is not edible. He should stop that noise. As Ghanaians, we have already made up our minds. He's just a comedian like Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Sami in Kokrobiti sent in this one. Justice, okay, all right. Thank you so much, Sami, for your message. This one says, Justice, I'm saddened by certain rulings of the Supreme Court. Some of these rulings clearly show how some people have been denied justice in this past. If this clear provision could be mutilated this way, what then would happen to provisions that are not that clear to the ordinary man? By Abdul Razak in Wali Wali. Thank you so much, Abdul Razak. This one says, good day, good evening. This one also says, tell the MPP man today he can talk, but one day they will be at the wrong side of the aisle. This one says, good evening to you all. The ruling by the Apex Court yesterday is a disaster to our nation. He sent in that one from Tamale. This one also says, good evening, Mr. Host. Please, can anyone give me a constitutional provision which gives a direction as to each side should sit on the right side of speaker? So when there's a recall, the NDC should go and sit at the right side of the speaker. The MPP is 137 and the NDC also have 137. Razak in Ateobu sent in that one. This one also says NDC should be both are killing the nation. Imagine shifting citizens' attention from Galamsey. Leave Mr. Ayisi alone. All right, thank you so much for your message. This one says, hi, Pan-African Television. In fact, you are doing an amazing job. It's actually amazing when I sit to see what is actually happening to our constitution. And to my surprise, the communicators are failing to speak the truth. Joshua from Pandai sent in that message. Let me do some few more messages. And the MPP communicator is only blowing hot air. He doesn't seem to be on top of issues and is thus resorting to raving and ranting. He sounds like a false prophet in the one church, forcing issues on unsuspecting church members. Yao Martin in Accra sent in that one. Mr. Ayisi must respect the speaker. He is nowhere near the speaker. Please let him read the constitution of his party. What makes someone their member and not a member of a party? This one says, good evening, my name is Ike from Krobo Dumasi. Please, the MPP man is provoking me. Please warn him to stop defending what is wrong. Well, I can't warn Mr. Ayisi. He's listening to you. Why is Mr. Ayisi shouting like that? This one says, good evening, host. Tell the MPP man, we Ghanaians and NDC, we are coming to power in January 7, 2024. Thank you so much for your message. This one says, I'm Kwejo Pluto from Asante Mampo. Per the MPP man's logic, then the article in contention is useless in our constitution. No. This one says, Mr. Ayisi, please, any message that is insulting, trust me, I would not read it. Send your messages devoid of insult. It's important. Good evening, Mr. Host. Mr. George don't know anything about the law. He should keep quiet there. Wow. Who is he to talk, to tell the NDC MPs and speaker? Well, I don't really get the head and tail of the message. Please send it again. This one says, good evening, Justice. Please remind Mr. George Ayisi that the Constitution did not say a member of parliament and not an aspiring candidate. Now, what happens if 4 MPs lose the election? How are they going to be punished for that if the MPP continue to refer to future parliament? No wonder the Supreme Court is in the pocket of a MPP. Felix from where I think that he's saying that. I think that he's saying that the constitution talks about members of parliament and not parliamentary candidates. I mean, I think that's a point he was actually trying to make. Yeah. I'll come back to you. The Supreme Court,
the 137 members of the NDC all decide to go independent. What happens? They lose their seat.
Well,
no. Why not? There's a future. Well, no, what is nothing to do with
the Supreme Court under President Akufo-Addo administration is setting bad precedents in the country by Napoleon in Tumu, Sankofa base. Now let me come to you, BOT. You have 4 minutes.
Yeah. How many minutes?
4 minutes. Right.
Yes, I think that this platform ought to be respected. Look,
4 years down the lane,
Right.
we had the Right Honorable Speaker in the capacity of the current one giving a ruling for somebody to vacate his seat. At that time, nobody in the NDC referred to Professor Mike Orunkwe as wicked, as selfish, as trying to be anarchist. We never used such unprintable words on him. You, my brother, you just right here a few minutes ago.
Yes.
You sat on this platform.
That's what he's doing.
And referred to Right Honorable Speaker Babin as an anarchist, causing confusion. And let me tell you today, if those words are meritorious today, then it is time for to Professor Mike Orunkwe.
Okay.
Just let us hold a certain decorum for this platform. I, in my candid view, this platform is watched by over 40 plus countries people.
That is true.
So when people are making certain commentary, bring them to a halt. Look, what makes Speaker anarchist? What makes him a Confucianist? So in 2020, Professor Orunkwe was an anarchist, right? Was he a Confucianist? Let's be measured in our commentary. Do you think that we in the NDC can use vituperative words against the judges of the Supreme Court? We can. But we've decided to use temperate words because democracy allows it. You think that if we have our way, I will sit on this platform and be measured in my commentary toward the judges 5-2 ruling against Mr. Speaker? No. But because it is democracy, I may not agree with the judges. But democracy said that minority should have their say, majority should have their way. But that should not enjoin me to be on Pan-African Hot News to cast insinuation, use aspersion, use vituperative words against those judges. That's uncalled for. So the point I'm making, and let me speak to my NDC members, the comments who are watching me. No matter what we do, we can never have justice today in whether Supreme Court, High Court, Appeals Court, even the District Court. Let us go down and work to kick this government out of power. Me, that is the only respect I have. The only respect justice I have is that no matter what we do, we can never have true justice being served for us today. So let every NDC member watching me this evening, the only respect we have, the only solution, the only comfort we can have is when we work our ass out, and on the 7th December, people go to the polls and vote for John Dramani Mahama.
You can show it to the camera.
Yes, so
I'm sure.
let me speak to NDC members. No matter what we do, we should never think of having a respite comfort under this government. Let us get down under all branches, ward, constituency, region, every nook and cranny. And let Ghanaians understand that if they want true democracy to prevail, it can only happen under John Dramani Mahama and a decisive parliamentary majority. In this case, John Mahama today, nothing has the status quo remain the same, is number 8. Look for nothing than the umbrella. And let me enjoy NDC members. Let us emphatically in one accord campaign unanimously to ensure that in the next Parliament of Ghana, we should have no less than 150 parliamentary seats for the NDC. When we get to that level, then the true democracy we want, the true justice we want can be served in Ghana.
Thank you.
That was Bernard Odrotechi, member of the National Democratic Congress and a chartered economist. Now, Mr. Ayisi, kindly, of course, it is
a practice.
Okay, all right.
Because
it's a practice, but not within the law.
But if it's a practice, no, let's get the hands, the standing or the SNC. I believe it will be captured there. So these are the practices. And it's so absurd that a speaker says he has no role to determine who sits where, when he had caused the confusion by expelling powers he didn't have. He used it, and the Supreme Court said, you don't have that power. Reverse it. And he said, no. I just seen it twice. And does this person think about the cohesion of this nation?
The speaker has within his power and right to adjourn Parliament Senate.
Yes, but he must do
so he has done nothing wrong by adjourning Parliament
by not respecting the rules of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
He disregarded the Supreme Court twice.
I see.
And this one, a finality has been brought to it. Let's see when the Parliament reconvenes what he's going to do. He's not above the law.
With all this,
that's why I asked you to read 2:4.
Right.
That's why I asked you to read it.
I read it,
and
it's clear. Now,
so
if Parliament is recalled, and minority members of parliament decide that they are not coming to parliament.
That is their business.
How do you transact business in parliament?
Oh, you can transact
How are you able
business.
to form quorum? How are you able to even get your things passed?
You need 1/3 to form a quorum. Okay.
And once you form a quorum, what
Yes, then the rest
so
there,
your
you
MPs will be
need
in
have
parliament
to make a
transacting back
decision.
government business whilst
Yes.
their opponents are in their various constituencies campaigning.
That's their business. Because when they need you, you go. Government business doesn't grind to a halt.
But they are
because
now
somebody says,
they are now,
when we're passing
now
the health
threatening.
insurance bill, they walked out of parliament.
They are now threatening.
NDC walked out of parliament.
They are now threatening
the
that they will
Ghanaians
come.
are benefiting from health insurance
They are-
today. No, they can't.
As
That is
part of
their
some of the
business.
threats
That
is that
their
they would
business.
not show up in
That is their
parliament. What
own
about that
business.
one?
That is their own business.
But you
That
need
is
them
their
to
own-
transact government business in parliament.
Yes, but there are certain decisions that can be taken with.
So aren't we supposed to be resolving this
138?
amicably
And that 138
than to have been
can be
going back
there.
and forth?
You get it? Of course.
Is it not in the interest of government?
No,
Is it not in
the
the interest of a majority?
And the speaker didn't avail themselves. Apenyomakin approached the speaker severally. And he wasn't amenable to any good reasoning from the majority leader.
Against the speaker.
No, that's what he said. Apenyo said this. Apenyo said this on national platform. You get it? So please, that is the issue. He's the
Right.
leader.
Kindly step down for
please.
me.
Yes, and look. You see, when people, it sees them, they want to bastardize the judiciary.
Right.
When they acquitted the Amenfi East, or is it Amenfi East or Central? Kujo, Joanna Kujo, when they acquitted and gave her the opportunity to go and contest, they were jubilating. When the same court, I said minority leader and Jakpa are free, they were jubilating. That's the same court. People appointed by the same president. Now, this one, common sense, good reasoning, clear and ambiguous. You say you don't understand.
Thank you so much.
These are the reality.
Thank you so much,
the
Mr. Ayisi. Thank you so much.
Constitution is in the bosom of the Supreme Court judges.
Right.
They have original jurisdiction according to Article 1301.
Right.
Okay, and that is what is being done ipso facto. Thank you and good night.
This person,
MPP is winning
this person keeps calling me blessed. I'm Justice. Hello, Justice. Please, I need BOT's number. Please, Justice, what is Mr. Ayisi doing? What Mr. Ayisi is doing is wrong. Please tell him.
What is
we
wrong?
are going to punish him and
What
his
is
party
wrong?
when we come to power.
You don't like the fact.
Thank you so much for your
don't
message.
like the fact.
This one says, I'm Techi Kofi Abeg from Doma Amasu. Justice, please, per the ruling by the Supreme Court, if any MP dies or resigns, whose responsibility is it to declare the seat vacant? All right. Thank you so much for your message. You can forward it to me, please. Now, BOT, somebody wants your number. Would you want to? No, you can quickly mention it.
9407 433.
The number again.
9407 433.
020-940.
7433.
Okay.
Let's keep the MPP out straightforwardly.
Right. Thank you all so much for watching. The show has been hot news. My name is Justice Opian.
Thank you for watching. PENDREAM TV really appreciate your time. Please, if you have not yet subscribed as a new member, please do so for us. Hit the notification bell for more updates. Like and also share to other members on your contact list to also watch what is happening or listen to what is happening as a person or as a citizen. Thank you. Stay tuned for more. We have more coming your way. Please don't miss out. Subscribe to the channel as a new member for us. Turn the notification bell to up so that you'll be the first to receive or to broadcast to the world what is current. Thank you.
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.